when I worked at Exxon Mobil, among the many objectives that I had, we all had the objective, obviously, of running the business better, making as much money as we could, achieving the highest return on investment, but also developing the next generation of leaders. And obviously being African American in an industry that has a very, very low participation rate of African Americans, I thought that I needed to take special efforts to identify and bring into the organization and help to develop young African American leaders. And so what I'll say here to start the conversation is that I'm extremely proud because forget all the achievements, forget kind of everything, all the compensation. What I'm most proud of is the gentleman sitting to my left, because I see it as a result of mentoring, positive mentoring that has achieved an outstanding goal. And the outstanding goal was, yes, I made it into the top 50 of management at Exxon Mobil, but he's made it higher, and he has further to go. And the farther he goes, the prouder I am of the work that he's doing. So I'd like to maybe kick the conversation off with Steve. Did I do anything that was useful to you as you moved up in the organization?
So Gerald, he's being a little bit, he's really not sharing all of his accomplishments. When he retired, he was the highest ranking African American that ever worked for Exxon Mobil, or Exxon, either one of those corporations, which is a tremendous achievement. Right here, where is Jesse?
Right over here.
Jesse was probably the single highest ranking business senior executive at Exxon Mobil, the fuels and marketing business. And so it's really with great pride that you have an opportunity to come up behind individuals like them who are going to help you and support you as you come up. Gerald gets a chance to say some stuff that I can't say. I'll just tell you that now. But the things that Gerald and Jesse provided were just tremendous mentorship, the willingness to go out on a limb and tell an organization that you need to give this brother this opportunity. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to do that at that time. And Gerald, for years, so Gerald and Sylvia's beautiful wife right there, and my wife's right over there. Gerald and Sylvia went to Australia for their expat assignment. So for years, Gerald would whisper in Kim's ear, my wife's name's Kim, you're gonna go overseas, it starts with an A. And Kim was all excited about going to Australia. I said, girl, we ain't going to Australia, I can guarantee you that. We ended up going to Angola, Africa. But the fact that he knew it was the right job for me, and he was able to coach her and coach me for the purposes of that role was instrumental in our life, and actually it transformed our life. I mean, right now, we're in the house right next door. A lot of that because of the decision to go to Angola and be, the senior financial person at that affiliate. If it were not for him, Jesse, and other brothers and sisters who were in Exxon Mobil helping support, young folks like myself at that time, we would not be here at all.
So Steve, I started at Exxon Mobil in the late 1970s at a time when the oil industry was booming. We were hiring as many people as we could. We were increasing production as rapidly as we could. We were going to all parts of the planet to look for oil and gas. So, but what's changed? I mean, why is it so interesting that you're in the organization today, and tell us about the organization today that's very different?
So, a lot of folks, and the gentleman before was, talking about saving the environment, and obviously we're instrumental in that overall effort.
You were.
We still try to be very helpful in that. We are. But if you go back, so 2 instrumental points within the past 10 years. About 8 years ago, the United States thought they were going to run out of natural gas. And so we were building import LNG facilities around the coast. Now we have so much natural gas because of, unconventional oil and gas wells. We're exporting, actually we're selling natural gas now, and your electricity bills are lower than they've ever been in the past 20 years because of, basically we're selling natural gas out of the Permian basically for free.
Now you're starting to sound like a cable TV salesman. You're telling me my cable bill is lower than it is today,
Yes,
and
yes.
my
Yeah, I
utility
am
bill
telling
is
you, I'm
lower
telling you.
than it is today,
Yeah.
and you're selling natural gas, which means that at some point we're going to pay more for natural gas than we're paying today.
It's so abundant through technologies. So then the other thing that we achieved was through some of this new technology, the United States now is an exporter of oil right now. In fact, we produce more oil than any other country in the world. Saudi Arabia is number 2, U.S. is number 1. And it's through technology and it's through all these different steps that we've taken to be able to really free our dependence on the Middle East, which has been obviously a problem issue for us for years.
Now that's pretty good, but it all seems consistent with the theme of producing more and more oil and natural gas, which seems to run counter to those who want to, or those who seem to think that it damages the environment. So what do you say to that?
So, we do recognize. I mean, put down the phones right now. So. That includes you too. We do recognize that mankind has had an impact on the warming of the planet. If you think about what's happened over the past 15 years, probably very few people realize that the United States generates less CO2, which is what warms the Earth, than it did back in 1985. And a lot of that is because of natural gas. So we got almost all coal plants have been shut down, and we're running them with natural gas right now. And that by itself cuts the CO2 emissions by about 50 to 60%. The other thing that at least our corporation is looking at is what can we do in terms of capturing the CO2 that we emit and producing oil and gas and plastics and everything else that everyone uses. So when people get upset about oil and gas companies, remember what you're wearing right now is a result of an oil and gas company. Every aspect of what you said at. And so we're looking at technology to figure out how we can capture that CO2 and generate a new energy to reburn it and reduce the overall impact on the earth. So.